I froze in the hallway, the words bouncing in my skull like a curse I couldn't shake. I had meant to grab my jacket. Just a quick stop before the birthday party. But now my hands were shaking, my chest tightening in a way I hadn't known was possible. Her voice, soft, teasing, but unmistakably hopeful, hung in the air. I wanted to laugh it off, tell myself I had misheard, but the tone, the tiny thrill in it, refused to be ignored. Hope he shows up? I whispered to myself, my own voice alien to my ears. I pressed my palm against the wall, trying to steady myself. Emily, my girlfriend of almost 4 years, the woman I trusted more than anyone in the world. And suddenly, a thread of doubt had been pulled, unraveling something I hadn't even realized was stitched so tightly. I walked into the living room, trying to act casual, like nothing had happened. She was bent over her phone, scrolling, her lips curving in that small, private smile that had always made my stomach flutter. But now, it made something else twist inside me. Ready? I asked, forcing a lightness I didn't feel. Emily glanced up, her eyes flicking over mine briefly before returning to the screen. Yeah, just a sec. I need to text Sarah about the gift. Her voice was clipped, almost offensive. My chest ached with a sudden visceral suspicion. On the drive to the party, I kept my eyes on the road, my hands tied around the wheel. The silence between us was thick, punctuated only by the occasional laugh from her at some joke on her phone. I wanted to ask, to confront, but something inside me held back. Denial, maybe, or the fear of hearing the truth. The party was in full swing when we arrived. Music pulsed through the room, and friends laughed, drinks clinking. I tried to lose myself in it, force myself to smile, but my heart kept drifting back to that one phrase, that single poisonous hope for her ex. Then I saw him. He wasn't hard to miss, tall, with that same careless confidence she'd always complained about. He was laughing with a group of friends, completely unaware that I just realized the full weight of her words. My stomach turned, a slow wave of nausea and anger. I wanted to march over, demand explanations, make a scene, but I couldn't. My body betrayed me, frozen in disbelief, as she caught sight of him and her smile widened in a way that made something deep inside me shatter. Throughout the night, the tension built quietly. Every time I looked at her, I noticed something new. The way her hand lingered near his group when she gestured, the way her laugh sharpened when he said something clever. I couldn't bear to watch, yet I couldn't look away. Suspicion hardened into something ugly, something I couldn't name. Later, when we stepped out on the balcony for air, I finally tried to speak, my voice lower than I intended. Emily, is there something I should know? She turned to me, a flicker of confusion crossing her face. What do you mean? You know, I said, heart hammering. Before we left, I heard you say something about your ex, that you hoped he would show up. Her eyes widened slightly, but then she laughed, a short, nervous laugh. Oh, that? I didn't mean anything. Just old habits, you know? We're going to this thing. I got nostalgic for a second. It doesn't mean anything. I wanted to believe her. I desperately, painfully wanted to, but the warmth that once filled her presence now felt like smoke, drifting and intangible. Something in my chest tightened, and I realized the truth I was afraid to name. Trust, once broken, doesn't just mend. By the end of the night, I saw it. The subtle closeness, the way he leaned in as she told the story, the brief touch on her arm. Nothing overt, nothing anyone else might notice, but enough for my mind to ignite with suspicion and grief. I excused myself under the pretense of getting more drinks and spent those few minutes outside trying to breathe, to make sense of betrayal that I could already feel, even if I couldn't prove it. The following days were unbearable. I couldn't stop replaying her words, her laughter, the way her eyes had shone when she saw him. I wanted answers, confrontations, but each attempt to speak turned my throat to stone. She seemed normal, smiling, chatting, texting, but I saw her differently now. Every message, every glance, every delay in response twisted into proof of something I couldn't yet confirm but could no longer deny. Then the message arrived. A single text from someone I didn't know. I can't wait to see you again tonight. My blood ran cold. The sender's name was unrecognizable, but the number matched the ones I'd seen on her phone during those quiet, secretive moments. I stared at it, shaking, stomach dropping. The betrayal wasn't hypothetical anymore. It was real. I waited for her to come home, pacing, hands clenching and unclenching. When she walked through the door, smiling, I felt the rage and grief collide inside me. A storm I couldn't tame. "Emily," I said, voice barely steady. "Who is this?" I held up my phone, the message glaring in the dim hallway light. Her smile faltered, eyes darting. "Alex." "You lied." I interrupted, my voice rising despite my own disbelief. "Before the party, you said it. I hope my ex shows up. And now this." My hands shook, but I forced myself to keep eye contact. "I trusted you." Her shoulders slumped, and the color drained from her face. I didn't mean to hurt you. You did," I said, the word tasting like ash. "Every choice you made, every secret, every little lie, it all adds up, and it kills me. You're supposed to be the person I could count on, and now..." My throat tightened. "I don't even know who you are anymore." She tried to reach for me, to explain, but I pulled back, the physical distance echoing the chasm that had opened between us. Silence fell, thick and suffocating, until finally I whispered, "I can't do this. I can't pretend anymore." I left that night, the city streets cold and empty beneath my feet. I didn't know where I was going, only that I couldn't stay. Every memory of us, the laughter, the late-night talks, the dreams we shared, felt like a knife twisting deeper into my chest. I didn't want to forget them, but I knew that if I stayed, I would lose myself entirely. Weeks later, I finally let myself accept what I had known all along. Love is fragile, but trust is lethal when broken. The betrayal had stripped us down to the rawest truth. Some wounds, once inflicted, never heal fully. I still loved her in fragments, in flashes, but I could no longer surrender myself to someone who had already chosen another. As I packed away the last of our shared memories, I realized that the hardest part wasn't anger or heartbreak. It was a quiet, lingering ache of what could have been, the haunting knowledge that trust, once fractured, changes everything. And yet in that ache, I found a strange clarity. I would survive. I would rebuild. And I would never, ever ignore the first words that shattered my world. Before heading to a friend's birthday, I overheard my girlfriend say, "I hope my ex shows up." That was the moment my life split in two, the moment I learned that love can betray you long before anyone admits it.